Hello Perfect Beauties, my name is Daisy and today I have been wanting to do this video for a long time, but it's just top tips I have learned from running a business. So you guys know that I do have a business, it's called Vanish. So if you guys are interested in that, I'll have the link below where you can check out the products. And I have learned so much running this business, and I feel like I have the wisdom of like a 50-year-old because when you're running a business, you're constantly making decisions for yourself. Nobody's telling you what to do, so you learn a lot more than I feel like if you're just like, you know, like working for a different company. So the first thing that I have definitely been a lot more mindful of is the value of my time. So my time is so important to me and I guard it with my life. If you work at like a place where they pay you hourly, you're gonna get paid for time. Or if you work salary, you're gonna get paid for time, but my pay is not linked to time. So therefore time is just this, like, it's like worth so much more than time. So you can't, I don't know, I can't calculate like how much my time is worth. Like, is it $100 an hour, $500 an hour, $1,000 an hour? I actually would say it's probably worth more than $1,000 an hour simply because I value it way more than that. Because of that, everything that I do, I think about the end goal and the end result in mind, and I don't like to waste time on things that don't have an impact on the business. So I have learned to streamline my life so efficiently that it works like a machine, and I've done that to the business where everything works like a machine, and I get so stressed out when things aren't lined up and things aren't working like a machine. And that also means that if people are being annoying, I cut them out of my life, and I'm not afraid to do that. The second thing I have learned in running my business is that I am not a charity, which means that there's going to be companies, like a lot of companies, that will try to sell you services, and they're very expensive services, and you do not have to feel obligated to go along with these things. And you know, they'll give you a free trial and do all that kind of stuff, hoping that you're going to buy into that product. But at the end of the day, you are not obligated to sign a $10,000 a month contract with a certain company, right? So I have learned that it's okay to say no, it's okay to negotiate, and it's okay to use that free trial and never use their service again. You don't have to feel obligated. You're not a charity. If it's not beneficial for your company, you don't need to do it. The third thing is decision impairment. So it's weird because everyone wants to start a business and they're like, I don't want to work for anyone. I want to do my own thing. I want to set my own schedule. I want to set my own hours. And honey, the shit you have to deal with in order to get that kind of freedom, you're gonna wish that you were back at your old job, because there's so many more things you need to deal with than sometimes the benefit of having that flexibility is. And I get so much decision impairment because I make so many decisions every single day, every single minute, and people are always asking me for things that when I went grocery shopping to Trader Joe's, I could not figure out what kind of Greek yogurt to get. And I literally walked out of the grocery store and I didn't buy any groceries because I just couldn't make these decisions. I've exhausted all my decision-making process for my business that I can't make decisions in just like simply grocery shopping. I have learned, for me, and I'm still working on this, is to limit the amount of decision-making things I have to do. So one thing I've learned is trying to empower my employees to make decisions on their own. Other things is just making things very systemized and processed, having rules and kind of a core values and core principles and judgment that I can make decisions by. So it's kind of like if and then statements, and you kind of have a chart, almost like this like mental chart where you can figure out if a decision is good or bad. Okay, the next thing that I have learned while running a business is that perfectionism kills everything, because life isn't perfect and life sucks sometimes and life is great sometimes, and things aren't going to be perfect, so don't spend your time trying to make things perfect. Again, I say my time is worth $10,000 an hour, so is it really worth it for me to make something so perfect if it's not going to produce the end bottom line result. And if you are a perfectionist, then startup life, then small business life is not for you, because the reality of starting your own business is it's such a mess. It's freaking messy, it's chaos, it's like an earthquake every single day. It's basically like an earthquake on your house that like completely shatters and like throws everything around, and then you have to go and pick up the pieces and figure out how to move on to the next, like how to continue living your life after a huge earthquake or tsunami has like gone in your house. That's like what running a business is. And there's no guidebook, there's no handbook telling you how to do it. There's no one who's gonna tell you what to do. I mean, people say like, oh, you should have mentors and like advisors and things, but I think ultimately it's up to you, because this is your baby. So you have to figure it out. You have to get your hands dirty and kind of get in there. Next thing I've learned in running a business is the people you surround yourself with is gonna make or break your company. And that means that you have to hire good people, and you cannot just settle. Once you bring someone in your team, other people are going to be working with them, and they're going to be influencing their work style, their behavior, their attitude. So if you're having someone who's doesn't fit your core values and your mission and vision of the company, they don't have a good attitude, or they just don't give enough about what they do, then they're going to like wreak havoc on everybody, not just their own position. The next thing is don't mix friend and business. I know that people like do business with their friends and it works out. For me personally, I just don't want to mix. I don't want to mix family and business, and I don't want to mix friend and business, because if anything were to happen, for example, if something didn't work out, I don't want one to be at the sacrifice of another. So that's just my personal opinion. I know some people can be successful in both ways, but I've also heard of people losing friendships because of some kind of business they started, or they hired their friend and it didn't work out, and then they lose, you know, their best friend. The next thing I've learned in running a business is democracy isn't always the best policy. And I know it's gonna be like, oh my God, Daisy, you live in America. But sometimes, honestly, if you try to make everybody happy, you're never gonna get anywhere. And sometimes you have to take a stand in a position and go with your vision, then trying to figure out, okay, what does everybody want? Sometimes you have to make decisions, and you have to make executive decisions that are initially not popular. So there have been certain decisions I've made that I think people are like, oh, why are you doing that? But it turns out that I don't regret it, because I was able to see something, or I had more insight into something. And you just have to realize that you have to trust that judgment and that gut feeling that you have, and that you have hired the right team and the right people to kind of follow you and support you and has your back making those decisions. And you know, you're not going to be right 100% of the time, but the important thing is that when you're wrong, you're not wrong on things that will make or break your company. And so the overall thing is, I really think running a business is all about having good judgment and decision-making processes, because the hardest part is nobody tells you what to do. Nobody gives you a guidebook, and nobody says that this is the right or wrong thing. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this. I really tried to be as honest as possible, and I don't want to sugarcoat anything, because I don't know, why would I want to sugarcoat things to you? It's not like, I don't think everyone should be an entrepreneur. I think most people shouldn't, because they don't have the personality to do it. But I don't want to discourage, you know, I don't want to discourage. If you want to do it, you should do it. But some people, they think it's so glamorous, right? And I think it's so glamorized in our society. And you only see the highlights of people's lives. Don't forget that. You only see what people are going to put out there. You're never going to see the negative sides, and you don't know what's really behind the scenes of people's lives. So don't take everything on social media and this video and everything else in the press for face value. So, oh my God, thank you all so much. I talked super fast, but I missed you guys so much. And let me know, I guess, what kind of other questions you have. I would love to do like a video on productivity, or how to get good grades in college, or more of like the productive professional stuff. I think I could provide like more value in that. I don't know, we'll see. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.